the Silver Report Uncut. Now, some people requested me to do a video about this, and it's really a shocking fact because most Americans have no idea that they actually do not own their property. They don't own their homes, their businesses, the properties, any of it, ultimately, and your deed actually proves this. And in fact, they're all properties that are collateral for federal debt. If you have the deed and it's paid for in full, even if all of this is yours, there's no liens on it. If the federal government defaults on its interest obligation, the private world bankers are going to come and become the new landlords of every home, business, and property in the United States. When this country was founded, something very beautiful took place here that was really not taking place in most of the world at that point. It was something that was falling away, and it was called Allodial title. Today, over 75% of Americans do not have this highest form of title on their homes, businesses, or properties. Instead, they have deeds. So this is a very different legal term. It's merely a color of title. Color, or the color of, is defined in Black's Law Dictionary, 6th edition, as, quote, an appearance or semblance as distinguished from that which is real or prima facie, a deceptive appearance. Color of title is defined as that which in appearance is title, but is not title in fact or in law. Wright versus Matrone, 18 Howe, U.S. 50. Color of title is an appearance of title, coupled with possession. It purports to convey ownership. This is not to say, however, that it actually conveys ownership. Rawson versus Fox, 65, Illinois, 200. David versus Hall, 92, Illinois, 85. So a deed is a color of title. A warranty deed of conveyance is a color of title. A quiet claim deed is a color of title. Thus, any tax deed which purports on its face to convey a title is a color of title. All of those were found in Supreme Court cases. In fact, the only true title to land in the United States would be a land patent, or what else is known as an allodial title. Patents are issued between sovereigns, and deeds are executed by persons and private corporations. A patent is the highest evidence of title and is conclusive against the government and all claiming under junior titles until it's set aside or annulled by some judicial tribunal. The patent, land patent, is the only evidence of the legal fee simple title, or allodial. That's from McConnell versus Wilcox, 1 Scam, ILL 381396. So from Black's Law Dictionary, allodial means free, not beholden of any lord or superior, owned without obligation, the opposite of feudal. Allodium means that the land is actually held absolutely in one's own right, not of any lord, superior, land not subject to feudal duties or burdens, which would be property taxes or municipal codes that we go through, an estate held by absolute ownership without recognizing any superior to whom any duty is due on account thereof. Now, there are some things that you can do about this, but the simple fact is they don't want you to do anything about this. In fact, paying property taxes is one of those things which most Americans just accept that it's a way of life. And most people are completely unaware why they pay property tax in the first place, especially if you knew that you own the property. It's simply because you do not own it. In fact, the Constitution strictly limits the ability to take taxes. There's only two kinds of taxes, direct and indirect. Direct taxes are prohibited by the Constitution. Not once, but twice. Direct taxes are taxes on that which you already own. And there may be no direct taxes under any circumstances, and only if the taxes are equally apportioned among the Union states can they be levied, and that would be in extreme circumstances. Besides that, a portion tax, they need to be repealed within 2 years of its enactment, which is why the allodial title is something that has gone away. This is something they don't want you to understand. They don't want you to understand that you don't own the land that you've actually purchased, and the deed is only a color of title. In fact, America was established so that a citizen need not ever pay any tax unless they wish to. So what is the property tax? It's an indirect tax levied because you have voluntarily used government services, and also because your property has been classified as a commercial piece of property. So there's no law requiring a real property owner to record his property with the county recorder. And when you do record your property, you're using government services, which you're not required to use, and your property tax goes to pay for those services. So it's not really going to fund the roads or the services around you think that it is. When you record your property, you're actually entering into a trustor-trustee relationship in which your real property has been transferred into a government trust, and you're given authorized permission to use their property or a warranty deed. On top of that, your property tax is based on commercial classification, which has been assigned to your real property. And it's almost a certainty because your property is most likely classified as either agricultural, industrial, residential. Each one of these is commercial in nature because the legal definition of resident is a class of government official. Residential is a house in which a government official lives. So to obtain allodial title, now this is something that they really don't want you to have because allodial title means supreme ownership. In the United States of America, all property is allodial in nation. That means that all property is subject to the supreme ownership of the people. This also means that federal government activities which take private or public land to use for either these environmental, biosphere purposes, public parks, national forests, all of these, they're illegally stolen from the people who are the rightful owners. Now, the reason that in most of the 13 original states that they have state forests and state lands like this, state parks, is because those powers, those properties have been delegated now to the state. If you can obtain allodial title to your real property, you will have effectively created your own property where you reign supreme, where you're no longer subject to municipal codes, you're no longer subject to the property taxes, you're no longer subject to anything. You own the property. No zoning ordinances, easements, no bureaucratic regulations, state, federal law have any effect on property held in allodium. So literally, it is the single most important thing for you to understand because the government does not want you to obtain allodial title to your property. They will actively work to prevent you from doing this, to prevent you from understanding this. So there's 3 steps toward acquiring allodial title. First, the property needs to be completely paid off. No mortgage, lien, or other attachment can exist. So with that, there's liens on against your home that you don't even realize exist. You need to go to the county recorder and you do a title search. You need to search back to the original land grants, ensuring that there's no hidden clouds on the title. And once you've completed the title search, you file for a federal land patent on the land on which the property is located. Of course, if the property, once again, is in the original 13 states, you're going to need to go to the state for a land patent. No federal land patents exist on those states. So here's the tough part though. Every piece of recorded real property is used to collateralize government loans. So this is the problem. Your real property, your home or your business, whatever land you think you own, has public debt attached to it. You need to find out the amount of public debt and whoever the holder of the debt is, and then pay it off. Now this can be up to 7 times the amount of your property tax. This can be a pretty sizable amount, but there is nothing more important than accomplishing this. The government does not want you to accomplish this. So next, get 3 certified copies of the original land patent and 1 certified copy of record of government survey. Record one of these certified copies of the original land patent with the county recorder's office, and the number you get from them will be the land patent number you will refer to in the declaration of the land patent. Determine the legal description of your property, or that would be from your tax statement, deed, real estate contract, tax assessor's office. You need to obtain the property description narrative. So get the range number, township number, section number. Research the heirs or owners on the property back to the original issue of patent. So discover the chain of assigns pertinent to your portion of the land patent and attach to your declaration of land patent. So prepare a declaration of land patent and update it in one name. Declaration of land patents must be updated in the name of a real individual. You cannot allodialize property in the name of a trust, corporation, or nonprofit. It needs to be a real individual. So then next you want to record the declaration of land patent in either your county recorder's office, register of deeds, or with the Bureau of Records and Conveyances of your common law court. Notarize and witness all documents. And this might be tough for some, but of course use lawful money, gold or silver, because conveying title with negotiable instruments voids the allodial title. After filing, send a copy of by certified mail, return receipt requested, as a notice of declaration of land patent to your bank or mortgage company, or to any parties with equitable interest in your property, including the county tax assessor. You could also publish a notice of declaration of land patent, an illegal publication in your county, once a week for 3 weeks, Next, post the notice of declaration of land patent at the four corners of your property and leave them posted for 60 days, of course witnessed. They will then have 60 days to challenge your claim to the allodial title. So taking a step back and looking out on that list, you'll find that it's almost impossible, but just imagine how much your property would be worth, especially since you would never need to pay property taxes ever again. But the greater burden of all of this is the fact that you now know. Because understanding this should make a lot of people mad. A lot of people have thought they've lived free and clear for some time. They might not have to pay a mortgage anymore. They finally worked to pay it off. But it's a simple fact that we need to continuously pay taxes on a property on which you own. You need to be subject to laws. I don't know about you, but on my property, we happen to have a section of land that was in between the sidewalk and the home. And what happened was that the county, or the borough in which I live, came and confiscated approximately 4 feet of land, and they took it over. They said that now we need to maintain it, but now they own it. So they were able to confiscate it because they wanted to do work for the township. They wanted to go in and to remake the sewer lines, and they didn't want to ask individually at each home and be responsible for damages. So they therefore confiscated that land. And how could they do that if the land is owned free and clear? How could they do that if there's no deed, or there's no loan, there's no mortgage? If the property is owned, paid outright, and the simple fact is because we don't own our property. We don't own the land that it's on. We are merely renting it. And that's according to the legal definition. Another thing of note, imagine the increase in your property value if you were to own a allodial title to your home. It would be of immense worth because it would essentially be its own kingdom in the midst of your municipality that is being broken down by bureaucracy. Alright guys, leave me a comment in the comment box what you think. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I thank you guys for stopping by. As always, stay safe.